Jason Lodge. I'm going to talk about the diseases and the disorders in the endocrine system. Diseases and disorders can occur in the system. Some of these are not as severe. Actually, many are not severe, but the ones like obesity is. Some diseases are type 1 and type 2 diabetes. Type 1 is when your body does not produce enough insulin to break down the sugars. Type 2 is when the cells don't absorb the insulin. Type 1 diabetes is usually diagnosed in children and young adults. This is called juvenile diabetes. Only 5% of people with diabetes have this form of disease. Type 2 diabetes is a problem with your body that occurs in the blood glucose level to rise higher than normal. Type 2 diabetes is the most common form of diabetes. The next disease is thyroid cancer. In the U.S., there are 56,000 thyroid cancers reported. In the world, there is 150,000 cases reported. The cancer happens in the neck and thyroid modulus. The thyroid modulus is right here. I don't know if you can see that. It's like right there. Okay, the cancer happens next is prediabetes, where the blood sugar is high but not high enough to be type 2. People with this might have excessive hunger, excessive thirst, and or fatigue. Addison's disease decreased production of hormones produced by the adrenal glands. Addison's disease is a disorder that occurs when your body produces insufficient amounts of certain hormones produced by the adrenal glands. In Addison's disease, your adrenal glands produce too little cortisol, often insufficient levels of aldosterone as well. The adrenal gland is right here above the kidney. Hypothyroidism is a condition in which your thyroid gland produces too much of the hormone thyroxine. Hypothyroidism can accelerate your body's metabolism significantly, causing sudden weight loss, a rapid or irregular heartbeat, sweating, and nervousness, or irritability. The next is osteoporosis. It means porous bones, and it is a disorder characterized by hollow bones. This might be confusing, because if you viewed a healthy bone under a microscope, it would have gaps, similar to those in a honeycomb. But an osteoporosis bone contains much bigger spaces than healthy bones. This is a picture of one right here. I don't know if you can see that. But that right there is a normal bones. If you can see that, it looks like that. But this right here, it's much bigger, and that's what osteoporosis does. Women are the most common associated with osteoporosis. Men also experience. In fact, it's estimated that 20% of the 10 million Americans with osteoporosis are men. The next is a disorder that's called obesity. Obesity affects many people in the world. In the U.S., more than 2/3, 68.8%, of adults are considered to be overweight or obese. More than 1/3, 35.7% of adults are considered to be obese. That's a lot. More than 1 in 20, more than 1 in 20, 6.3%, have extreme obesity. Almost 3 in 4 men, 74%, are considered to be overweight or obese. Too many people are like this. It's a very big problem. This can be easily affected, but many Americans don't want to take the step to it. If I was to take a survey in our school, my guess would be more than half of our school would be obese. I got a picture of obesity right there, as you can see. It makes you more fatter than you should be. To wrap everything up, there are many diseases in the endocrine system, like type 1 and type 2 diabetes. Thyroid cancer and obesity is a really big one, but many are rare or uncommon, and some, like obesity, is very big, and many people have it. This is some of the diseases and the disorders in the endocrine system. So I'm going to talk about the effects of osteoporosis. This is like a healthy bone mass right here. This is how it should look. With osteoporosis, you can see it's kind of like curved. You can get spinal fractures, cause curvature of the spine, loss of height, and pain. And the websites I got all this from is the endocrineweb.com PAMF.org, Mayo Clinic, and Anatomy and Physiology by Susan J. Hall.
Hi, my name is Reese Walker, and I'm going to talk to you about the main functions of the organs in the endocrine system and some of the jobs that you can get from majoring in endocrinology. The first one I'm going to talk to you about is the hypothalamus, which is located right here by the brain. The hypothalamus is part of the brain. It serves many different functions in the nervous system and is also responsible for the direct control of the endocrine system through the pituitary gland. The hypothalamus contains special cells called neurosecretory cells, neurons that secrete hormones. The next one I'm going to talk to you about is the pituitary gland, which is located right next to the hypothalamus. The pituitary gland, also known as the hypophysis, is a small pea-sized lump of tissue connected to the hypothalamus. Many blood vessels surround the pituitary gland to carry the hormones it releases throughout the body. The next one I would like to talk to you about is the thyroid, and that is located about mid-throat. The thyroid gland, which is a small butterfly-shaped gland in the front of your neck, makes thyroid hormones. The thyroid hormones travel from the thyroid gland through the blood to all its parts of the body where they do their work. The next one I'd like to talk about is the parathyroid, which is actually the same place the thyroid is. The parathyroid is next to the thyroid, and it also secretes a hormone that regulates calcium levels in a person's body. The next one I'd like to talk about is the adrenal gland. The adrenal gland is located in the lower stomach. The adrenal glands are small glands located on top of each kidney. They produce hormones that you can't live without. With adrenal glands disorders, your glands make too much or not enough hormones. The last one I would like to talk about is next to last is the pineal body. The pineal body is located in the back of the brain and is a pine cone-shaped gland. Its exact function remains unclear. However, we do not know where the body is exposed to darkness, or when. The body releases a hormone called melatonin. The last one I would like to talk about is the pancreas. The pancreas is a long, thin gland located next to the stomach, in the upper part of the abdominal cavity. It secretes hormones that control blood glucose levels. Next, I would like to talk to you about the careers. A 4-year medical school program must be completed to be an endocrinologist. Courses in this program consist of biochemistry, pharmacology, and anatomy. After 2 years, students usually begin work in healthcare facilities with licensed physicians. During this time, students learn more about how to diagnose different medical conditions in patients. After graduation, students must enter a residency program and complete a fellowship. The fellowship usually takes 2 years to complete. Those interested in seeking board certification must demonstrate strong clinical knowledge as well as an ethical and moral standards. Students can specialize in research or clinical endocrinology. Some careers the endocrinologist can become are physicians, nurses, vets, research scientists, and public health officials. Our resources that we used were endocrineweb.com, medline.gov, Anatomy and Physiology by Susan J. Hall, and ehow.com. Hey guys, now I have some fun facts for you about the endocrine system. More than 200 years before Jesus was born, Chinese medical professionals were using gypsum to extract hormones out of donated urine. When combined with saponin, they discovered that these hormones were useful for healing. Osteoporosis makes the bones less dense as people get older. About 10% of senior population suffers from this disease. It's often thought of as a bone disorder or a problem with genetics or lifestyle habits. But the endocrine system can also cause osteoporosis to happen with low estrogen levels. The term hormone was actually coined about a century ago. This is because scientists finally figured out what the ancient Chinese already knew, that there was some form of central communication between the different organs of the body. By using the chemicals in 1902, it was found that the brain could trigger these chemicals and hormones were born. When the endocrine system begins to malfunction, it can leave some telltale signs in the body. The most common disorder is a lack of insulin production. which causes extra sugars to be eliminated through the urine. Before modern testing methods, doctors would actually taste urine to determine if it was sweet enough for a proper diagnosis. The hypothalamus is the one that makes you feel hungry and thirsty. It also helps in the body temperature. It also aids the immune system by helping the body build resistance to disease. The human behavior is often controlled by the endocrine system when it affects the nervous system. We must be thankful to the pineal gland for our sweet sleep. It secretes melatonin, which helps us sleep better. There are also 30 hormones in the human body.
Hello, my name is Leska, and today I will be talking to you about the endocrine system. The endocrine system is a collection of glands that produce hormones that regulate metabolism, growth, development, tissue function, sleep, and mood. The endocrine system is made up of the pituitary gland, thyroid gland, parathyroid gland, adrenal gland, pancreas, pineal gland, and the hypothalamus. The pituitary gland is the most important endocrine gland. It's a pea-sized body attached to the base of the brain. The pituitary is important in controlling growth and development and the functioning of the other endocrine glands. It's located right here. Next is the thyroid gland. The thyroid gland is a large gland in the neck that secretes hormones regulating growth and development through the rate of metabolism. The thyroid gland is located right here. Next is the parathyroid gland. The parathyroid glands are small endocrine glands in the neck of humans and other pteropods that produce parathyroid hormones, located in the neck. Next is the adrenal gland. Adrenal glands are endocrine glands that produce a variety of hormones including adrenaline and the steroids aldosterone and cortisol. They are all located above the kidneys. Next is the pancreas. The pancreas is a large ductless gland behind the stomach that secretes digestive enzymes into the duodenum. Embedded in the pancreas are the islets of longer hands which secrete into the blood the hormones insulin and leptin, located right here. Fun fact time. Fun fact number 1. Did you know that plants can produce hormones without the endocrine system? Plants do not have an endocrine system or endocrine glands, but they do produce hormones, which affect various processes related to plant growth, including gene expression, metabolism, and cell division. Number 2, the hypothalamus is the gland that makes you feel hunger and thirst. It also helps the body temperature. Number 3, the endocrine system aids the immune system. Number 4, the human behavior is also controlled by the endocrine system when it affects the nerve system. Number 5, the pineal gland is what controls our sleep. Number 6, there are 30 total hormones in the human body. Number 7, not all hormones come from the endocrine system. Number 8, dogs were used instead of lab rats as part of the endocrine research. Number 9, Chinese healers started practicing endocrinology about 2,000 years ago. Number 10, diabetes was once diagnosed by tasting urine. Thanks for watching. The sites I used were kidshealth.org, endocrineweb.com, livescience.com, and Body Structures and Functions by Ann Scott and Elizabeth Vaughn.